Are you feeling overwhelmed by budgeting, retirement planning, or just managing your finances in general? In today's episode, I'm joined by Jackie Randall Lentz, a former mental health counselor turned Christian life coach who helps business owners elevate their coaching skills. Together, we're diving into self-coaching strategies that can help you shift your mindset, break free from financial overwhelm, and build the confidence you need to take control of your financial future. Whether you're struggling with your financial beliefs or looking to create a meaningful vision for your retirement, this episode is packed with actionable insights to help you step into an empowered financial future. Let's get started. Welcome to Wealthy After 40, where I help you turn retirement uncertainty into a clear, actionable plan. If you're thinking about retirement but feel unsure whether it's even possible, I understand. The gap between where you are now and where you want to be can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to. Hi, I'm Daylene Higgins, founder of Elevate Finances and your personal financial coach. Having retired at the age of 50 and have enjoyed over 2 years of retirement bliss, I'm here to help you create your retirement dream and make it a reality. No more wondering, no more guessing, just taking action and building a future for yourself. Join me each week as I guide you through essential topics such as budgeting, cash flow, lifestyle planning, debt and savings, insurance, Medicare, and Social Security. Together, we'll build a strategy to help you achieve the retirement you've always desired. It's time to shift from uncertain to unstoppable and make your retirement dreams a reality. I am excited for today's guest. I'm welcoming Jackie Randall Lentz to the podcast. She is a special person to me, and I'm so glad I have met her. Jackie, welcome, and tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, Daylene. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am so excited for this conversation. My face hurts because I'm smiling so much, but yeah, my name is Jackie Randall Lentz. I'm located in New York with my husband and our 2 fur babies, our kitties. Love them so much. I am a former mental health counselor. And I made the pivot into Christian life coaching way back in 2020. And I've been doing that ever since. And I specifically help coaches and business owners create extraordinary content to attract true aligned dream clients. But then we don't stop there, because then I also help coaches elevate their coaching skills and their client experience so they are able to deliver extraordinary results for those clients that they attract and they bring into their programs. I love what I do. I love my clients. I love you. And yeah, for this opportunity.
Yes. I had been coaching for several years and had a little bit of training in a different course, so it wasn't live. And I found Jackie's Kingdom Boss Academy. Very last minute, I pulled the plug and I went into it. It's about 4 months, and I learned so much about how to actually help clients get the results they need instead of just teaching, which is okay. I have to teach financially, but to actually help them understand what they're processing behind their heads. I'm so grateful to have found her. And so today she's going to help you listeners learn how to self-coach to get yourself out of overwhelm with budgeting and retirement planning, just finances in general. Jackie, where does somebody start?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I love that you use the term self-coach. For those who may be unfamiliar with that term, like self-coaching, it's really just becoming aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, the stories that you may be telling yourself, and not attaching shame either to what you're feeling and to what you're thinking. And I think a lot of us do that, right? Like we attach that shame and that judgment and that guilt piece, but when it comes down to with self-coaching, it's really just cultivating that awareness around the stories that you're telling yourself and not attaching that shame and judgment to it, which I know that's a big piece of what you do with your clients, especially with money and finances, right? We have stories attached to that. Oh boy. Like I know I had stories that I had to work through because from you're a toddler, right? And then growing up as a child and then a teenager and then early adult years, you're watching your parents, you're watching all these people around you tell you things about money or talk about finances certain ways in a certain way, right? And so even those stories that you pick up when you're growing up, they carry with you into your adult years too. And I know that's a big thing of what you do with your clients is you help them work through those stories so then they can have the retirement that they want.
Yes, yes. I mean, the things that we see as a 2-year-old, and even if you reflect back to you raising your kids, how much more you let your 2-year-old see as opposed to your 8 or 9-year-old. And so they're getting mixed messages in lots of different ways, also because of their maturity. I have many clients. Yes, we work through stories and uncovering some different things that have happened to them and beliefs. But I have a lot of clients who find themselves in overwhelm and they keep getting stuck. We keep guiding them. So, what are some ways to, if somebody's listening, they're like, I'm just overwhelmed, it's just too much. They don't want to even, like tackle anything. What are some suggestions you have for them?
Yeah, yeah. That's a good question because even before we hit record, I know we were talking about a story about, how sometimes your clients, they worry about months ahead, like what's to come. They worry so much about the future. And the word, as you were telling me that story, I wrote down self-trust. And I feel like a lot of the worry, a lot of the overwhelm, a lot of the fear that comes from a lack of self-trust almost. Like the overwhelm, the fear, it comes from, well, will I be able to afford Christmas in December when it's June? Or would I be able to retire even though you have 5 years to like get yourself to that place? I think a lot of the overwhelm and fear comes from that self-trust of, or that lack of self-trust of, will I be able to do X, Y, and Z or have X, Y, and Z? And so I think for those listening, first and foremost is you got to believe in yourself. You got to trust in yourself and your ability to get there. And that's why they also hire you to help them and to give them those tools and the strategies to get there. But I think belief in themselves is such a core component too, because they can also hire you and you can give them the tools and the strategies and everything. But if they don't believe in themselves and their ability to have the retirement that they want, then they might continue to fall into that overwhelm, that fear cycle. And so when it comes to tackling that fear and overwhelm of your future and your finances, I will first say, like, trust yourself. And no matter how old you are, like, you got to where you are right now and you're okay. You're surviving. I'm assuming like you have a roof over your head and you have food in the fridge and you have shoes on your feet. And yes, money and finances, it can always look better. I think no matter what your situation is, it's always like, I think it could be better. It can always be better. But I think believing in yourself that like you got to where you are and you're still okay and everything is figure outable. You'll always figure it out. And you got to believe in yourself and have that self-trust that what you want is possible for you and available for you.
We'll be back after a quick break.
You've worked hard, saved what you could, and now retirement is on the horizon. But instead of feeling confident, you're stuck in uncertainty and wondering if you're truly prepared. The fear of running out of money keeps you up at night. You don't have a clear budget that shows you exactly what you need. You're tired of the guessing game, feel like you're dipping into savings too often, and you're also feeling guilty every time you spend. That's exactly why I created my Retirement Ready VIP session, a 2-hour deep dive where we'll map out your money, create a simple budget, and give you the steps needed to make retirement possible. Imagine knowing exactly where you stand, the confidence to spend, save, and retire without stress. Let's make that your reality by booking your Retirement Ready VIP session today at elevatefinances.us. The link is also down in the show notes. Yeah, so true. I mean, and I think that's a recognition is how far have you come? What have you done? And then instead of jumping to the end line, like just look at the next piece and trust in yourself. You made it work so far. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. So as somebody is working through that, what is another thing that can help them get to their end goal? I know we talk about, vision and having that, I have my clients begin thinking about that and getting detailed. But I love how you were saying, we have our talents and our abilities, and how does that play and how can we use those as we're navigating this, this journey that can be difficult at times?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's really okay. So I serve Christians. I help other women really walk into their God-given gifts, their God-given identity. And so knowing that God has deposited certain gifts and talents and skills and strengths inside of you. And so even thinking about your retirement for the future, thinking about getting creative and thinking outside of the box of what can you do when you retire to utilize those skills, those strengths, those talents, right? We were talking about this yesterday about your vision and how you retired and still you were like, I'm not done yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to put these skills and strengths and talents to the test. And so you started a whole business. And I think you are the beautiful example of what's possible and available for them, even when they get to the point of retirement. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about like that transition for you, because I know you have experience in that. I'm not fully retired yet. So
hopefully you're dreaming up something. I think that's the key. We've got a dream so far and keep it going. And then, yeah, recognizing that I think the belief with retirement is that it's the end. And it is the end of something. It's the end. For me, it was a 32-year career, but it's not the end of life. And I think recognizing that difference is so very important. And like you said, reaching in for those abilities, those desires, those skills, what can you do to prosper in that second phase, because even if you aren't able to retire before 65, most people at 65 are still young, vibrant, healthy, ready to go, do everything in the world. So purposefully go do something,
Yes.
have that purpose.
Yeah. And you're a lot like me in that way, where it's like the idea of, going to the beach, going by the pool, having a mimosa in your hand, right? Spending your retirement with those days. That sounds nice for maybe a day or two.
Yeah.
But then after that, I get bored easily. And so it's like, I need to be doing something. And so even just opening up your world a little bit, like thinking outside of the box, expanding your mind and dreaming, giving yourself permission to dream. Oh, can we go there for a second? Because
Yes.
I feel like not enough people give themselves permission to dream. Society teaches us, go to work for I don't know, 65 years, 60, 50 and 65 years. That's a long time. How long do people go to work for? What's the average?
35, 40 years.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not 65. That's sometimes it feels that way though. You're the moment you come out of the womb, you're working.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So but what society teaches us is like you work for 30 years, okay, and then you're retired and that's it. You move into a retirement home and maybe you take a couple trips here and there. And I think really giving yourself permission to break that standard, to allow yourself to dream of what is possible. Like, yes, you can travel the world, but like you can also do so much more than that. Like you can start your own podcast. You can write a book. You can start your own Bible study. Like it's endless possibilities. And so I always joke with Eric, like, I want to be that couple where we sell our home and we get a trailer and then we just travel all across the United States. Eric is against that. So I told him he can just stay home with our cats. But it's like giving yourself permission to dream about those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Dream. And that's what I say, like dream. Remember, you as a child or your grandkids or even your kids, and they were going to be these most amazing things in life. They shot for the stars. And we never stifled that. We never said, my daughter was going to be a professional soccer player. And I'm like, you go for it. Why stifle the dreams? And so I think that's the same with retirement. We have to dream to start getting so creative to create desire. So I know on my journey, I had chosen my path, knew what I was doing. The desire was so deep that I could care less what was happening elsewhere. And I made the choices that affected that. So maybe you can enlighten, like, why is desire needed to really put that motivation into place? And not that it was 100%, right? I'm not saying this is the solve all be all, but it's so good. But why is desire so important for us to have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a common question that I hear a lot from my clients as well. And again, and I serve specifically Christians, and I know there's probably people listening where maybe they're not necessarily Christian, and that's okay. But I will say one of the things I really help my clients know and understand is like, God is not just in the business of quote unquote using you. Like we hear that all the time of like, God called me to this. He wants to use me for this, to expand the kingdom, to touch others, reach others, to serve, right? To change lives. Okay, yes, God wants you to change lives. Like he called us, he created us to be disciples, but also he's not just in the business of using us. Like he cares about your heart. He cares about your soul. He wants you to have fun. And the Bible talks about that too, of like being a child of God. And when we think of a child of God, or just a child in general, a child likes to have fun. A child plays. A child is imaginative. They're creative. They like to laugh. And that's a big value of God's as well, is like he wants us to have fun. He wants us to be passionate about something. He wants us to have a desire. It's in alignment with him to have a desire. So not just, again, going through life, working your job, walking your calling. Okay, that's nice. Making that money, that's nice. But we also have to keep in mind too, like, again, money, I believe money, that's a tool, that's a resource given by God, from God. And so it's not just something that is meant to just pay the bills and try to control 24/7. I do believe that God wants us to be expansive with it and have that abundance mindset and play with it.
So good. Yeah, creating that different world, that different perspective, and really thinking outside of the box, which that is why I love Jackie as my coach, helping me build my business She's so supportive of to who I am and who I can be in business. So let's kind of shift a little bit. And I would love to talk about the benefits of hiring a coach, whether it is for health, business, money, whatever it is, right? Just life coaching. What is the benefits of having a coach, maybe as opposed to a teacher?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a coach calls you out on your BS. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say
Yes,
that?
you can say that.
A coach calls you out on your BS. Here's the thing. Okay, this is my counseling background, my psychology education coming into play right now. Our brains, psychology tells us that our brains are designed to keep us safe, which means when something feels scary or uncomfortable, and it might stretch us and grow us in a good way, in a healthy way, our brain is still designed to keep us safe, and it doesn't want us to go do the thing and take action. And so a coach really helps us take action and get results and move past the fear, move past what is feeling uncomfortable. And so again, like you said, let's just take the health coaching for example, right? Losing weight, it's not rocket science. You can get that information for free. You can go to the library, read all the books. It's not rocket science. Eat less, work out. That's how you lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So someone's not going to hire a health coach to just give them that strategy, to just tell them that. They're going to hire a health coach because if it's as simple as eating less and working out, then why haven't you lost the weight that you wanted? Why is every single year on January 1st for the last 10 years, your resolution is to lose the weight? Maybe you stick to it for a month or two, but then you fall off and then you go, or you lose the weight and then you put it back on. It's because of our mind. It's because of our brain. And so hiring the coach really allows you to build those healthy habits and be committed to the action plan that you have in place. And you work through those thoughts and beliefs and stories that you have in your mind that is keeping you stagnant and stuck. I hope I explained that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So good. So good. It is. Yes. Any subject, I can build my business on my own. People can do their finances on their own. I did. However, what are you doing at those stumbling blocks? That is where somebody can help you work through what maybe isn't out there and said, okay, you're going to come against overwhelm. And this is what you need to do. That's just not in that par for the course. So I want to say first how grateful I am to have found Jackie. And I know she cringes every time I say this, but she reminds me of my mother. Okay, she doesn't look like my mother, not any of that, but the way that she is accepting of and recognizing, I hear you, I feel you, I know what you're experiencing right now. And then there's always the but. It's time to move past that. And my mom was so good about that, the loving, the caring, but then the push. And so that's what I love about Jackie. So share with us, Jackie, how, your specifics. I know KBA is getting an overhaul, just a little bit. And I would love for you to share with listeners, just in case there's coaches out there who are struggling with content or struggling with getting their clients results. I will stand, yes, both of those, standing behind that. She delivers results, but share with us your program.
Thank you. Yeah. So Kingdom Boss Academy, yeah, it is getting a little bit of a facelift, a pivot, I guess you can say, where it's still going to be a coaching certification program, but it's really, I'm shortening it and narrowing it, where it's really only going to be focused on coaching skills and learning coaching tools and techniques. So that would be perfect if maybe you've been thinking about coaching, considering coaching, or if you are a coach and you just want to be able to deliver bigger, faster results for your clients. So KBA is the coaching certification, but the Uncaged Coach is a program where we really focus on attract, serve, and retaining your next soulmate client. And so we do focus more on the marketing, the content, and then also the client experience piece inside of the Uncaged Coach. So there's coaching inside of there. You get a portal of self-led trainings, and it really is just such a beautiful community of what's created so far. And then I also do one-on-one coaching. A lot of my clients hire me because of my background in clinical mental health counseling. And so if you're in a place where you're looking to feel more confident in what God has called you to do, and you're looking for more personalized hands-on support and feedback, then I also do one-on-one coaching.
Yes, I love it. Love everything she does. So grateful to have found her. So how do people connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook. So feel free to send me a friend request, Jackie Randall Lentz. That is my main platform. So don't be a stranger. Send me a friend request, send me a DM, say hi, hello. I'm hanging out there. I also have my own podcast on Spotify, the Pray, Play, and Get Paid podcast. And there's more information too on where you can find me on either of those, my Facebook or my podcast.
So yes, those links will be down in the show notes. If you are a business coach, or maybe you have just a small business and you need support, reach out to Jackie. She is one in a million. I will just tout her. I love her to pieces. She amazes me every time we connect when I'm like, I'm not sure if I have a problem, and not that she creates problems, but she helps you pick through what's maybe next and not glaring. So is there any last words of advice for our listeners before we end this interview?
Yeah. Just trust yourself. I think that whole theme of self-trust, that's what's coming up for me today. And so for those listening, just trust yourself, whether it's hiring Daylene, making that move, right? Following her on Instagram, whatever that next step is, just trust yourself to make it and to take it.
Yeah, so good. It is hard to take that next step, and you got to have somebody that can lovingly, give you that push. So hopefully there's somebody that will do that for you and the next step. But yeah, reach out if you need help, business or financial, to either one of us, and we will be able to support you. So thank you for being here, Jackie. It was so much fun.
Thank you, Daylene.
Thanks for listening. Each week, my goal is to help you get one step closer to retirement so you can be excited for that big day instead of stressed and just hoping it will work out. If today's episode got you thinking about your retirement planning and wondering if you're on the right track, let's connect. Schedule a free Q&A call to discuss your retirement needs and how I can support you in creating a retirement that's possible. Or if you're ready, schedule your Retirement Ready VIP session to dive deeper into your retirement goals and design the life you want. Complete with a personalized roadmap, you'll be on your way to a dream retirement. Don't wait to take action. You deserve the retirement you dream about. Be sure to take that first step today. And if not, be sure to tune in next week for the episode to learn more and move yourself to a retirement that's possible.